Hiya, Toots. It's Laura, your Braless bestie and your Unhooked host of the Braless Lush Podcast. Happy New Year, Dollface. I am so happy to be back with all of you. And I hope you had an amazing holiday and a happy New Year's Eve. Hope you did something so delicious and juicy. But now we're back to business and we are back to reinventing ourselves for the new year. Time to get on track.
Welcome to the Braless Lush.
I also hope that if you are lushing on the Braless Lush podcast, that you subscribe, leave a comment either on YouTube or the podcast apps, Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts. Just help me boost those algorithms and get more listeners and subscribers, because I am really going to bring it to you this year in 2026. And if you are on my mailing list, you will soon be getting a copy of, for free, a copy of the 2026 Braless Lush Podcast Curate Strategy Playbook. That's right, the Curate Strategy Playbook. And there will be a step-by-step in almost 20 pages of how to live your lush and find it this year. Get it, ladies. Get it. So if you're on the list, you will be getting that shortly. If you're not on the list, go to the show notes and there's a link for the download. It is free. I do ask for your little email, so don't be mad at me because I'm asking for stuff. But I think you're going to love my emails, because my email newsletter is called Unhooked. That's right. I said it. Unhooked. Who else wants to unhook their bra? Now, as you see here, I have a cocktail glass. Normally, there would be a cocktail in it. However, it is what they call dry January. So what is in here is just a little bit of club soda and just a lot of personality on that glass. And I am coming to you from the tiki bar in the Lush Lounge. Yes, I am sitting at my tiki bar. You might have remembered the one episode that I did with my bestie, Colleen Winters, and we did a little shaky of a peachy cocktail. And it was in the summer, so it was very breezy here in my, really, it's my home family room here with the 1950s vintage tiki bar here. And behind me, as you can see, a sign that says, "Have yourself a merry little cocktail." And I hope that's what all of you did. But like I said, we are back to business. And yes, I am still decorated for Christmas in early January, because I just can't do it. How long do you keep your decorations up? Anyway, I keep mine up until the first couple of weeks in January. It makes me happy in the blah, blah, bleak winter of Chicago. But anyway, thank you so much. I have missed you, Dollface, like you would not believe, because I've been on hiatus for a little while. But I wanted to bring to you, to kick off our 2026, a little bit of motivation from all of my besties who have been on the show last year and gearing up to bring back more amazing women who are going to talk about their stories of how they reinvented and how they pivoted and all the amazing advice that they have for us this year. So I am excited. Let's get started with Dr. Traci Hill, who was on my show. She went from being a firefighter, she's retired, and now this hot stuff, get it? Firefighter, hot stuff. Yeah, you got me. She went ahead and got a PhD in integrative medicine. Yes, a PhD. And you know what? She's 51. I believe. I believe so. Yes, my girl is 51. This girl is 55 right here. This Lush is 55. Anyhow, Dr. Hill, as we like to call her now, she is going to talk to us about how she feels about being 50. Let's hear what Traci says about the joy of being in her 50s.
But 50 is great. You get to just like be yourself and do what you want to do. You realize that other people's opinions don't matter. And I'm loving 50s. I love the 50s. I feel great. I'm doing amazing things. I'm loving life, every minute of it. So, it was a little strange adjustment. Like, oh my God, I'm 50. Because, when you're 20, you think 50 is old.
Right. I know. Well, when we were in our 20s, 50 was old in a way that there weren't a lot of like hip grandmas out there, and now there's hip grandmas.
Correct.
At 50 isn't like like our grandmas were when they were 50, they were wearing those house dresses and muumuus. Amazing, Dr. Hill. We are so excited to hear that you're excited about being 50. There's ups and downs, as we all know. We're fighting that menopause thing and wondering what's next in this next chapter. And so many, I don't know, the messages out there are talking about how 50's old. I mean, what? AARP starts sending you mail at 50, and in some circles, 55 is considered senior. Well, listen here. I am not feeling senior at all. But I do want to acknowledge that I'm a little off brand today with my Braless Lush baseball cap on and still got my cherry earrings and my cherry necklace going. But I just wanted to get on and get going with all of you. So I didn't do the full get up, the hair and all of that. But here I am, and no glasses either. How about that? Anyway, that's what our girl, Dr. Traci Hill, had to say about being 50. And if you want, go ahead and check out her episode. Next up with words of wisdom is the luscious Michelle L'Amour. My girl, Michelle, is an international burlesque dancer. And I knew Michelle when she had her burlesque school here in Chicago. And I took some of her classes, and boy, were they fun. And in her episode, I did kick it off with wearing a pink feather boa. Go ahead and check that out. But Michelle, in her episode, she talked about how she had a big reveal. And the big reveal was that she has alopecia. And hair or no hair, hair there or not there, she is gorgeous. And she talks about what it means to edit your life and redline your life, because there are things, ladies, that you just do not need. And you just need to take that red pen and go, just check it off, take it out, edit until you make yourself happy. So that's what our girl, Michelle L'Amour, is going to tell us about. Michelle, I know you're not in the 50 club yet, but we're never too old or too young to pivot. And I think you have some pivots happening in your life. Anything that you'd like to share with us and walk us through what the pivot is and what it might be? And maybe you don't know yet, but you know that one pivot is a coming. Something's changing.
Oh yeah. I love a good pivot. And yeah. So I like to say live your life in rough draft. And if you're looking at a rough draft and there are things that don't serve it or serve you, you can redline that. Take it out. It is not working. No, there's no reason to keep putting effort and energy into something that isn't filling you with joy. And we tell ourselves so often, like, well, we pride ourselves on the virtue of being loyal. Who are we being loyal to? We're being loyal to someone else, but not to ourselves. And we need to be loyal to ourselves. We need to be honest with ourselves.
Oh, lady girl, Michelle, she is just full of wisdom. Check out her episode and check out on YouTube her butt toven burlesque routine. Yes, I said it. Butt toven. Do you hear it? Dun 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 dun. And yes, there are butt cheeks a moving. So go ahead and check that out. There's a link in the show notes from that episode. Alrighty, next up is the gracious and elegant Trisha Brooke, who went from being an international ballet dancer. There's a theme here, yes, because I am an amateur ballroom dancer. And when I was 40, I started as a ballroom dancer and was competitive in the international Latin style, and also have done lots and lots of routines and had costumes and had rhinestones on everything. And like Michelle Lemore says, dancers can't be criminals because they leave incriminating elements behind them. There's evidence and elements of rhinestones and feathers behind them. But Trisha Brooke went from being an international ballet dancer to an international speaker coach. And she talks about trusting yourself, trusting your gut, and curating. I love this word, curating your life, especially in your 50s. Let's hear what Trisha has to say. Trisha, what have you gleaned about being in your 50s, and what's your lush?
My lush is being completely honest with myself and everyone in my life, and trusting that when I have a feeling, it's right. And that no is a complete sentence.
Any revelations about being in your 50s? Anything pivot for you after 50 happened? Because I feel like 50 happens, like it just happens. Did you have different thoughts about this next chapter?
Of course it happens, because the reality of time passing happens. However, I would encourage all of you watching and listening to rethink that it happens. Instead, you are curating your life, and you get to curate your life at every single age. And I get to curate and design the life of my dreams right now.
Oh, Trisha, my Virgo sister. Yes, we are both Virgos and we're the same age. We didn't even know this when she came on the show, but it's a true story. And she's just spectacular. And if you want to have a voice on stage one day, she has so many incredible free webinars about once a month, once every other month. If you go to trishabrook.com, check out her link. She is the founder of the Big Talk Academy. I know, it's very cool. And she has worked with all kinds of celebrities, movie stars, dignitaries, and has trained them how to speak on stage, how to get a TED Talk, and she will tell you the same. So go check out Trisha. Next up, my girl, Colleen Winters. And Colleen and I have known each other for, girl, I think 20 years. And we met in business when I was working for an advertising agency and she was working for a medical society, and I was helping her out with some branding work and marketing work. And we have stayed in touch ever since. And this gorgeous redhead has gone from medical marketer, and she's a boy mom, twins, and a dog mom. And now she is an entrepreneur of Wolf Gang Bakery and Grooming. And she made this leap, but she didn't do it without doing research, without thinking about it, not only about buying into a franchise, but also how that would all work once her divorce was final. So my girl had a lot going on all at one time, and she turned 50 all at the same time. That is a bundle of stuff, but she pulled through it with confidence, and now she is the owner of this amazing doggy franchise. Let's hear what Colleen has to say about the beauty of being prepared to make your pivot. What advice would you offer for women who are they're getting the nudge maybe, but not going for it?
Yeah. I think I would say, first and foremost, that your next chapter really doesn't have to make sense to anyone but you. And that was the case for me. It didn't make sense to everyone, but it felt right to me. And, in the end, that's really what mattered. And I think pivoting really doesn't have to be loud and dramatic. It just has to feel aligned. It can start with, and you talked about this too, Laura. It can start with a quiet whisper. And if you're listening for that, if you follow that, then you may just find that path that you're looking for. And it may not be a huge leap. It may just be a new hobby that or interest that you're looking for, something that ignites something, a new passion in you that you've been missing in your life. I think something too that was really important to me was that research planning and patience are really the rated acts of courage. So you need to, before you take that leap, like you said, Laura, you can't just, decide, oh, I want to do this and then boom, go do it. Make sure you do take the time to learn all you can about that path, that change. One thing that I think, I love that you're doing a podcast, because what I did through every change I made was listen to hours and hours, probably hundreds of hours of podcasts. That was literally my education. I think I don't know if you can get like a degree in divorce, but you can. I probably have one because I listened to divorce podcasts for years.
Wow.
Actually myself. And I'd done the same with entrepreneurship. I did the same thing when I knew I was leaving my job, and I wanted to educate myself on the best. These are the steps I needed to take to leave for my finances. And then the other part of that is also making sure that you build the right team of people. So whether it's a financial planner that you need to have, I found mine on Instagram and she's amazing, or a therapist or a life coach. So just making sure that you have the right people there to come alongside you and give you the information and the guidance that you need to make sure you've got everything lined up before you take that big leap.
Now that we heard from Colleen, I'm reminiscing now, sitting at this tiki bar, thinking about that peach martini that we made and we shared over the waves. And I really wish it was literally over the waves, like the ocean waves, but we pretended. But over cyberspace, we shared this peach concoction that she sent a recipe for, and we both made it and we both enjoyed a cocktail while we were on the show. So cheers, girlfriend. I miss you. Okay. Now, I had a few things to say myself about the shoulds. So many shoulds in our life, right? I should this, I should that, I should be married, I should be thin, I should have, I don't know, whatever. More adventures. I do believe we should all have more adventures, but the obligation factor that just is constantly reeling. Should. I say, stop shoulding on yourselves, ladies. And here's what I have to say about setting the shoulds on fire. Ditch the shoulds. Write down every should in your head and then burn it. That's right. I said burn it. You got a fire pit, burn it. Do you have just a little dish, a candle in a dish? Light that piece of paper and just put it in a dish and let it go. Things like you should be thin, you should be married, you should be selfless. Should. And all the shoulds do, you should on yourself. Do not should on yourself, ladies, and it equals shame. You should not be shamed. You should not be ashamed for saying no to the shoulds. Just toss it and throw it away. Again, there are some obligations, but I would bet you there are some shoulds that you don't have to do. What can I say? That's what I had to say about the shoulds. That was my very first episode, solo episode. So go ahead and check that out and learn more about what I suggest for reinventing yourself little by little. You don't have to do the big thing. You don't have to jump out of the airplane, but can you take some time for yourself? Can you take that class, that dance class, that art class, whatever it might be? Can you give yourself a half an hour of freaking peace with that glass of wine or that mocktail or that cup of tea or coffee that you've just been lushing for? Yes, find your lushes. And I always say, lush is not about what's in the glass, right? It's about the thing that you crave. What do you crave? And bring it. Talk about bringing it. My last guest that has words of wisdom for us is the mysterious Ms. Melusine. And in that episode, you will only see me if you're on YouTube. On audio, of course, you will hear both of us. But we were talking about the ins and outs, if you will, air quotes, ins and outs of the kink community. And Ms. Melusine told us all of the details of what kink is all about. And it is not what we might think. Well, it's a little bit of what we probably think, but it's definitely not Red Room of Pain level activity. But she talks with us about how kink actually made her more confident in her 50s. And we all need as much confidence as we can get as we get older, because we keep being told that we are old. We are not old. We have wisdom. We have experience. And kink might just be something that you might need to spice things up in your world and get a little confidence. So let's hear what Ms. Melusine has to say. So, what did it do for you, and what advice could you give ladies over 50 who might be interested in kink?
Well, it definitely built my confidence. And I think that that was a natural outgrowth of having to negotiate everything and talk about what we would like to do and talk about our fantasies together. My husband and I definitely explored and thought about things together in ways that I hadn't with my first husband, because everything was so frightening and we were so young. And of course, we didn't talk about things like most people don't. You just have plain old sex and you don't do anything else. And over time, that gets old. So you definitely want to spice things up, but you don't necessarily feel like you can say what you want because it would be scary or embarrassing, or it might change your partner's sense of who you are. And it might also change your sense of who you are. But I have found that when negotiating with my partner and when negotiating over a long period of time, I mean, 14 years with other people, I was increasingly able to speak confidently. I could explore who I was. I could make other people understand what I needed and say that without being afraid that I was going to be fired or I was going to hurt my partner or that I wasn't going to be heard, because within the community, one always must be heard and taken seriously. And I think a lot of women in our age group are used to not being taken very seriously, even though we've tried very hard over the course of our lives, to be taken seriously. And we've certainly been more able to be than our mothers were or our grandmothers were. I do think, too, that it's the power exchange that one negotiates in a scene or in the bedroom, because any kind of kink engagement is all about a transfer of power. I am letting you have control over my body to some extent or another, or I'm taking more control in this situation than I might ordinarily to some extent or another. So you begin to translate that into the rest of your life. You speak less hesitatingly.
Oh, I tell you, this luscious doll, she just had so many amazing things to say about the kink community, and I do hope that you take a listen to what she has to say. I hope you had some time to unhook your bra this holiday season and take every other opportunity to ditch the bra and the bullshit. And I will be seeing you so much more in 2026. So, Toots, here's to you. I love you all, and I will see you soon. Meow for now.
Take off the bra, pour a drink. Life's too short. What do you think? We're ditching the rules, turning up the fun. After 50, babe, we've just begun. No filters, no fear. Sipping cocktails, crystal clear. Laughing loud, living free. It's time to own your destiny. You're a braless, lush, living gold. Stories untold, dreams unfold. Sip it up, let loose, be free. This is your time, can't you see? No more people pleasing, no more second guessing. We're talking life, love, laughs, and all the shit they don't mention. So grab a glass, grab a friend, let's shake it up till the very end. No regrets, just one big rush. Welcome to the Braless Lush.